Right now, on this Monday morning, February 16th, 2026, the National Weather Service has active warnings across 30 states. Tornadoes tore through Louisiana overnight. Evacuation warnings are in effect across Los Angeles with rain already moving in. And temperatures 30 to 40 degrees above average are about to shatter records from Texas to Minnesota by midweek. 4 separate weather disasters are unfolding simultaneously across the United States. In the next several minutes, I'm going to give you the exact timing for every single one of these threats. City by city, hour by hour, when the tornadoes arrive in California, when the heavy snow and ice hit the northern plains, when the record heat peaks and where, and why Florida's worst drought in 25 years is about to collide with all of it. This is information you will not find anywhere else broken down like this. Nobody else is giving you this level of detail for your specific location. But first, you need to understand something critical. What we are watching right now is not normal winter weather. This is a once-in-a-generation collision of air masses that meteorologists are calling unprecedented. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk of severe weather stretching from San Diego to the Sacramento Valley. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has ordered evacuation warnings for the Palisades, Sunset, and Hurst-Burn Scar areas effective from 9 p.m. Sunday through 9 a.m. Tuesday. In the southeast, 3 tornadoes have already been confirmed in Louisiana, with wind gusts reaching 72 miles per hour in Lake Charles. Meanwhile, the upper Midwest is bracing for 3 to 8 inches of snow, with a quarter inch of ice expected across Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And in Florida, 98% of the state is experiencing drought, 85% at severe levels, the worst since March of 2001. Here's what nobody else is covering right now. All of these events are connected. A single massive atmospheric pattern is driving every one of them. The same anomalous warm air fueling record heat in Kansas and Oklahoma is the same energy feeding the severe thunderstorms in the southeast and creating the battleground that will dump heavy snow across the northern tier. If you live anywhere from Boston to Los Angeles, what happens in the next 72 hours will directly affect you, and the situation is about to get much worse. Here is how all of this works. A massive ridge of warm air has built up across the central and southern United States. We are talking about temperatures 30 to 40 degrees above average in Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and even South Dakota and Minnesota. Amarillo, Texas could hit the low 80s. Chicago could reach the 60s on Wednesday. The Nebraska Panhandle could see the 60s and 70s. That kind of anomaly in February is not just unusual. It is the type of temperature departure that in summer would be classified as life-threatening heat. But this is a false spring. Do not get used to it. The cold will return. And here is where it gets dangerous. Where that warm air mass collides with natural cold air pushing south from Canada, you get explosive storm development. Think of it like 2 freight trains running at each other on the same track. The energy has to go somewhere. That collision zone produces heavy snow and ice on the cold side, severe thunderstorms on the warm side, and a dangerous wintry mix right along the boundary. The Arctic Oscillation has been in a negative phase for over a month, an unusual duration that created a wavier jet stream dragging Arctic air further south than normal. Could this pattern have been predicted weeks ago? Why did some areas get more warning than others? If you are watching this right now and you are in any of the affected areas, drop your location in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from so I can give you the specific forecast for your area. Here is your critical timeline, region by region. Pay close attention to your area, starting in the east. New York City and Philadelphia, you may have already noticed a thin dusting of snow from overnight. The changeover from rain to snow happened between 9 and 10 p.m. Sunday evening. Accumulation in the major cities was barely a coating, mostly on grass and elevated surfaces. Roads stayed mainly wet thanks to the urban heat island effect. This was a low-impact event for the metro areas. However, if you are in central New Jersey north of the I-95 corridor, you may have picked up slightly more where a narrow band of heavier snow set up. Boston, you are looking at roughly 2 inches by the time this system fully clears this morning. It will be enough to make the Monday commute messy, so give yourself extra time. Now the southeast, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida took a beating overnight. The line of storms pushed east and strengthened along the northern Gulf Coast before reaching the Florida Peninsula Sunday evening with 60-mile-per-hour gusts and small hail. The Fox Forecast Center confirmed the possibility of strong tornadoes across northern Florida and southern Georgia Sunday afternoon into the evening. As of this Monday morning, this system is moving out. But do not be fooled. The damage from overnight is still being assessed, and any residual cells near the central Gulf Coast could still produce locally damaging winds before fully clearing. Moving to the central United States. Tuesday into Wednesday is where the real action begins. A robust storm system fires up from North Dakota through Minnesota. A heavy burst of snow drops first, then continues building. Northern North Dakota, northern Wisconsin, and northeast Minnesota could see 3 to 6 inches, with some areas hitting 8 inches. Michigan's Upper Peninsula, listen carefully. This is important. You are facing a dangerous wintry mix with up to a quarter-inch of ice accumulation on top of the snow. That means downed power lines, treacherous roads, and potential multi-day outages. But here is what you really need to worry about. On the warm side of this same storm, thunderstorms are expected from Iowa through Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, potentially down into Kentucky by Wednesday and Thursday. Thunderstorms in February. The Storm Prediction Center has already flagged a Day 3 general thunderstorm risk for Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. This is not a tornado outbreak, but these storms will pack a punch. Then we push further south. The heat. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and of course Texas are going to feel temperatures that belong in late April, not mid-February. But what happens next changes everything. For those who have never experienced multiple simultaneous weather threats, here is what it looks like on the ground right now. In Port Barre, Louisiana, residents woke up this morning to find roofs caved in. Part of a home had its roof completely torn away. In Lake Charles, thunderstorm wind gusts hit 72 miles per hour. In Lumberton and Texas City, Texas, gusts of 70 and 69 miles per hour ripped through neighborhoods overnight. 3 confirmed tornadoes touched down in Slagle, Pine Prairie, and Port Barre before most people had finished their morning coffee. In Los Angeles, families living near the Palisades and Sunset Burn Scars are packing emergency bags right now. The evacuation warning means that within hours, mud and debris flows could come racing down hillsides that were stripped bare by recent wildfires. Imagine living through the fires, rebuilding, and now being told the rain could finish what the flames started. That is the reality for thousands of Angelenos today. Meanwhile, across Florida, more than 650 wildfires have already burned over 21,000 acres since January 1st. Emergency burn bans are active in 34 of the state's 67 counties. The 3,500-acre Buggy Fire in Broward County is still burning. And now the state's worst drought in 25 years, with rainfall deficits of more than 13 inches below average in Jacksonville and Tallahassee since last August, means every dry blade of grass is fuel. Remember those numbers: 30 to 40 degrees above average across the heartland, 72-mile-per-hour gusts in Louisiana. Evacuation warnings in Los Angeles. 98% of Florida in drought. This is not hype. This is not exaggeration. The National Weather Service does not issue these warnings lightly. We have tracked weather patterns for decades. This combination is historic. If you are in any of the affected areas right now, tell me in the comments where you are. I am reading every single comment and will respond with specific updates for your location. This is not just one storm. We are looking at heavy snow and dangerous ice accumulation in the northern plains, severe thunderstorms across the southeast and Midwest, rare tornado warnings along the California coast, catastrophic flood potential in Los Angeles burn scar communities, and record drought fueling wildfire danger across Florida. 5 threats happening at the same time. Across the entire country, Interstate 5 through the California mountains will be extremely dangerous over the next several days. 30 to 40 inches of snow above 6,000 feet, with some mountain peaks potentially buried under more than 8 feet. If you are trying to cross the Sierra Nevada, plan around it. Travel through those passes will be near impossible at times. In the southeast, the overnight storm line produced damaging winds from the Florida Panhandle through southern Alabama and Georgia. Roads that were already battered by Saturday sea storms took another hit. In Michigan's Upper Peninsula, a quarter-inch of ice on the way by midweek means power lines are at serious risk. Utility crews are already staging. In Los Angeles, a flood watch goes into effect Monday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., a wind advisory from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., a high surf advisory from 10 a.m., Monday through Thursday morning, February 19th, a gale watch from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday for all inner waters near the coast, 4 separate advisories for one city in one day. The last time Southern California faced this combination of severe weather threats, most people were caught completely off guard. But here is what most people do not realize. The second wave of rain hitting California later this week could be even more dangerous for the burn scars than the first. The response to this multi-front weather assault has been swift but raises serious questions. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass issued evacuation warnings for the Palisades, Sunset, and Hearst burn scar areas, giving residents a window from 9 p.m. Sunday to 9 a.m., Tuesday to either shelter or evacuate. But for families who already lost homes in the fires, evacuation fatigue is real. How many times can you ask someone to leave everything behind? In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott activated a state of emergency and directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to deploy all necessary resources ahead of the severe storms. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency due to the historic drought and a cold snap at the start of the month. The order waives agricultural weight restrictions so farmers can transport and harvest crops faster. Water shortage restrictions are now active across all 5 of Florida's water management districts. The National Weather Service office in San Francisco issued a coastal flood advisory for the North Bay and San Francisco Bay shoreline, warning of up to 1.2 feet of inundation above ground level in low-lying areas, with storm surge enhancing the astronomical tide by up to 1 foot. The Storm Prediction Center has placed a marginal risk zone from San Diego through Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and into the Sacramento Valley. But here is the question nobody is asking. Are we truly prepared for rare tornado warnings in Southern California? Emergency response in that region is built around earthquakes and wildfires, not supercell thunderstorms spinning off the Pacific. What happens when the warnings come and millions of people have never practiced a tornado action plan? What we are witnessing this week is not an isolated event. It is part of a pattern that has accelerated over the past several years. The Arctic Oscillation has been stuck in a negative phase for over a month. That is an unusual duration. What it does is create a wavier jet stream, one that dips deep enough to drag Arctic air into the eastern United States, like it did when New York City plunged to 3 degrees and Washington endured its 6th longest stretch of consecutive hours below freezing. But that same wavy pattern also allows massive ridges of warm air to surge northward in between the troughs. The result is a whiplash pattern, record cold 1 week, record warmth the next. And right along the boundary where those extremes collide, you get the kind of explosive weather we are tracking right now. Florida has not seen drought this severe since 2001. The 2025 hurricane season brought 0 landfalling hurricanes to the United States, a rare occurrence that robbed the state of the rainfall tropical systems typically deliver. January was the 20th driest in 131 years of Florida record-keeping. That deficit does not disappear overnight, but here is what nobody else is telling you yet. After this current system clears, long-range models show another system developing around Saturday, February 21st. It could become a significant snow event, and beyond that, we are only 5 to 6 weeks away from the heart of severe weather season. The pattern this winter, violent swings between extremes, suggests that tornado season could start early and come in strong. I will be monitoring every model run and will have a full breakdown as that picture becomes clearer. I will be tracking every one of these systems. If you want updates specific to your area, drop your city and state in the comments right now. Thousands of viewers are already doing this and getting real-time information as conditions change. Share this video with anyone you know in the affected areas. They need to see this tonight, not tomorrow morning. One last question. When 4 disasters hit the country at the same time and the pattern is only getting more extreme, at what point do we stop calling it unusual weather and start calling it the new normal?